Hey everybody, today's lesson is going to be on how to add and subtract radicals. We're also going to talk more about multiplying a monomial times a binomial and a binomial times a binomial later on in this lesson. So you can pause the video at any time that you need to and review the material. So here we go. To add and subtract radicals, you need to follow these steps. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to simplify all radicals. Simplify all. Once you've simplified, then you're going to combine like terms. Simplify first, and then you're going to combine like terms. So notice I have these like terms in quotations because what does a like term look like in radicals? Like terms look like things that have the same index and the same radicand. So for instance, the cube root of 5 plus 2 cube root of 5. We have the same index. Our index is 3, and we have the same radicand. The radicand is 5. So if I had 1 cube root of 5 plus 2 cube roots of 5, that's going to get me a total of 3 cube root of 5. That's what that means for like terms. So if you don't have the same index as the radicand, you just leave it alone because that's what we mean by combined like terms. So if you don't have anything else right, you're going to leave it alone. So here we go. Our first example is the cube root of 16 plus 4 cube root of 2. First step is to simplify. So I'm going to simplify the cube root of 16. Well, I'm looking for 3 of a kind because the cube root 16 is even. 2 and 8, 2 and 4, 2 and 2. I'm looking for 3 of a kind. I see 3 2's. Now right now, what's outside of my cube root is really a coefficient of 1. And 1 times the 2 I'm taking out is 2, and I'm left with the cube root of 2.
And my other radical, my other term, now 4 cube root of 2. Well, 2 can't be broken down any more than just 2. So this is fully simplified. So we're going to bring down plus 4 cube root of 2. So we've simplified, now we combine like terms. These are like terms because my index for both of them is 3 and my radicand for both of them is 2. So if I have 2 cube root of 2 plus 4 cube root of 2, that's going to get me 6 cube root of 2. My next problem I have is the fourth root of 3 plus the fourth root of 243. So the fourth root of 3 is fine. 3 is a prime number. You can't break that down. So I'm just going to bring the fourth root of 3 just straight down. Okay. Now the fourth root of 243. Let's simplify that. So 243 is odd. So divide by 3 and you're left with 81. 81's odd. 3 and 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. The rules are groups of 4 of a kind. So I see 4 3's. So a 3 comes out and I'm left with the fourth root of 3. So I've simplified. Now I'm combining like terms. So like terms, what are my like terms? Well, you have 1 fourth roots of 3 plus 4 fourth roots of 3. Those are like terms. So that's going to get me 4 fourth root of 3. Now let's step it up and have 3 terms. Nothing's going to change for us. We have 2 square root of 27 plus 3 square root of 75 minus the square root of 18. We're adding and subtracting. So we simplify and then we combine like terms. So simplify 2 square root of 27. The rules of that game are pairs. 27's odd. So 3 and 9. And 3 and 3. I see a pair of 3's. There's a coefficient of 2 already outside. So multiply that by what you're taking out to get 6 square root of 3. My second term is 3 square root of 75. 75's odd. 3 and 25, and then 5 and 5. I see a pair of 5's. I already have a plus 3 outside, so that's going to be a plus 15 square root of 3. Then I've got minus the square root of 18. Really, it's minus 1 square root of 18. That's my coefficient. But anyway, square root of 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 3. So I see a pair of 3's. They're going to come outside, but we already have a minus 1. So minus 3 when you multiply, square root of 2. So I've simplified, and now I'm going to combine like terms. Well, my only like terms here are 6 square root of 3 and 15 square root of 3 because they have the same index and the same radicand. So when I add them, I'm going to get 21 square root of 3, and then I still have the minus 3 square root of 2. That is fully simplified. You can't go any further than that. All right, my fourth example, I've got negative 2 square root of 45 minus 3 square root of 20 minus 2 square root of 6. We're just subtracting here, so we need to simplify and combine like terms. So negative 2 square root of 45. To simplify that, 45 is odd. 3 and 15, 3 and 5. I see a pair of 3s. Now what's already outside a coefficient of negative 2 to multiply to get me negative 6 square root of 5. Let's move on to our middle term here. So we have minus 3 square root of 20. So just focus on the square root of 20. We're looking for pairs. So we got 2 and 10, 2 and 5. I see a pair of 2s. What's already outside that? Minus 3. So minus 3 times 2 is going to be minus 6 square root of 5. And then my last term I have is minus 2 square root of 6. 6 breaks down to 2 and 3, but there's no pairs there. So minus 2 square root of 6 is fully simplified. Now we're going to combine like terms. Like terms have to have the same index and the same radicand. Well, same index for all three of these, but only the first two have the same radicand. So we're only going to do negative 6 square root of 5 minus 6 square root of 5 to get us negative 12 square root of 5. And then just bring down the minus 2 square root of 6 because there's nothing to combine with it. They're not like terms, so that's fine. So my last two examples are not on your sheet, but you can always add these in anywhere. So here's my example. I've got 5 square root of 5 times the binomial 5 plus 2 square root of 10. So I can't add 5 plus 2 square root of 10, okay? I can't do that, but I can multiply 5 square root of 5 times 5 and times 2 square root of 10. We learned how to multiply last class. So 5 square root of 5 times 5, which is really just 5 square root of 5 times 5 square root of 1. So you do have that same index. You're not worried about the radicand when you're multiplying. So multiply your coefficients, 5 times 5 to get 25, and then multiply your radicals. Square root of 5 times the square root of 1 is the square root of 5. Now I still need to multiply 5 square root of 5 times 2 square root of 10. Again, they have the same index, and when we multiply, that's really all we care about, is that we have the same index and that both are possible. So you have 5 square root of 5 times 2 square root of 10 to get 10 square root of 50. Now we've multiplied, so now we're going to simplify and then combine like terms if there are any. Well, 25 square root of 5. 5 can't be broken down any further. It's prime. So 25 square root of 5 is fine. Now 10 square root of 50. Well, 50 can be broken down to 2 and 25, 5 and 5. I see a pair of 5, so that's going to come out. I'm going to multiply it by that positive 10 to get a positive 50, and then I'm left with the square root of 2. Now I've simplified, and now I'm going to combine like terms, but I noticed these aren't like terms. 25 square root of 5 plus 50 square root of 2, those aren't alike, so we are done. My final example is a binomial times a binomial. So I've got 4 square root of 2 plus the square root of 5, all in parentheses. And I'm multiplying that by negative 5 square root of 2 plus the square root of 5. I can't add 4 square root of 2 plus the square root of 5. I can't add negative 5 square root of 2 plus the square root of 5 because they're not like terms, but I can multiply. So I'm going to do my first term times my first term. 4 square root of 2 times negative 5 square root of 2 is going to get me negative 20 square root of 4. Why is it negative 20? Because 4 times negative 5 is negative 20, and square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4. Stay with me for a moment. Now, we're going to do 4 square root of 2 times the square root of 5, which is really 1 square root of 5. So 4 times 1 is 4, and the square root of 2 times the square root of 5 is square root of 10. Now, I'm got to do my middle terms. So square root of 5 times negative 5 square root of 2. Really, this is 1. So it's going to be a minus 5, because 1 times negative 5 is negative 5, minus 5. And square root of 5 times square root of 2 is square root of 10. Now I just got to do this 1 square root of 5 times 1 square root of 5. Well, 1 times 1 is 1, and the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is the square root of 25. Now, all of these are attached through multiplication. So like negative 2 square root of 4 is, or sorry, negative 20 square root of 4 is really negative 20 times whatever the square root of 4 is. Well, the square root of 4 is just 2. And what's negative 20 times 2? It's negative 40. I've simplified that. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm simplifying right now. So 4 square root of 10, it's my next term. 10 is just 2 times 5. That doesn't break down any further. So 4 square root of 10 is fine. So I'm going to bring down plus 4 square root of 10. So now I've got minus 5 square root of 10. Well, again, we know square root of 10 doesn't break down any further, so I'm just going to bring down minus 5 square root of 10. And now I've got 1 times the square root of 25. Well, 1 times the square root of 25, the square root of 25 is 5. And 1 times 5 is 5. So I've simplified, and now I'm going to combine like terms. Well, my only like terms are my constants, negative 40 plus 5 to get negative 35. And 4 square root of 10 minus 5 square root of 10. Well, 4 square root of 10 minus 5 square root of 10 is going to get me a minus 1 square root of 10, or just minus square root of 10. You can leave it like this or erase the 1, but you need to have the minus sign. Try it, practice it, and we'll get back together next class.